know something. We need to find them.
Hey guys, today we're headed back into Galaxy's Edge because it has been open for about 5 months now, and I'm curious, and I'm sure you are too, what has all changed in 5 months? Because the answer is a lot. A ton has changed. So let's go just walk around Galaxy's Edge, look at all the different shops, the different food options, things like that, and we'll see what's different from opening day. Come explore with me. This is still, I think, the best thing about the West Coast Galaxy's Edge is what we've got going on right here. This entrance doesn't exist in the Florida version. The winds look so cool. So cosmetically, nothing has changed, really. None of the stuff that we'll talk about today will have anything with cosmetics. The majority of what we'll talk about today has to do with pricing and options. Because that is what is going on. There's stormtroopers.
Excellent. Affirmative.
Right off the bat, one thing we can say is one of the only things that hasn't changed prices since opening is the blue and green milk, which are still $7.99. It's a little expensive for the amount you get, but the blue one, if you're going to get one, get the blue one. It's very good. The green one's got like a floral taste to it. Oh, look at these helmets. It's like the helmet from Endor. That's kind of cool. It's like one's from Hoth. Oh no, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm chilling. I was looking at these sweet helmets.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you scanning?
What am I scanning? We're doing a video today talking about travel to Batuu and like how things have changed, price increases, stuff like that.
I'm just looking around, don't worry.
No, you're good, you're good. The stormtroopers, they ditched, they were over here and they went behind the scene. Oh, do you have, go help them. Go recruit
I
that.
think he was spying on me.
Oh,
well,
no.
I was talking to you, but I'm the original spy. But he might be a spy in training. Are you a spy in training? There you go, I thought so.
Yeah, no, good. You want to go recruit him? Go get him on the side? Are you already? Yeah.
As long as you don't get into any trouble while I'm gone.
No, I'll be good. We'll meet up later. All right, off to the left here, you see a line. This line is for Oga's Cantina, obviously the hottest spot in Galaxy's Edge. And this is also one of the biggest spots that has seen changes throughout the entire thing. So during opening weekend, that line was backed up all the way around through the other, like the Resistance Outpost area. And it got to a point where, and remember, opening weekend was a little different. That was set up in a way where you needed a reservation to get into Galaxy's Edge. So now it's more of you just walk in and kind of do whatever you want to. So that's a huge major difference right off the bat. But now with Oga's, you can do a reservation up to 60 days out, which is a big deal because like it makes it much easier to game plan your vacation. But what that also does is it means that it sells out a lot faster. So like those 60 days out are probably already full. So you want to make sure that as you anticipate your vacations 2 months out from now, you want to do it right away. You go onto the app or the website, you go to the reservation systems, and they'll basically all be available. But once that day is complete, I've noticed at least that a lot of them are gone right away after that, unless you went to a breakfast reservation. So be sure to do that on the site. The big thing that's changed inside there, though, is prices. Prices are astronomically different. Almost all of the drinks are at least $1 more now than they were opening day. And then also there's the souvenir glasses. All of those have gone up in price too, including, most notably, the Rancor flights, which was those Rancor teeth like collector item flight. That is now, it started at $75. That is now $85. So it went up $10 since opening day, which is ridiculous because $75 is already a large ask for a souvenir from Galaxy's Edge. So that all being said, Cantina is still a must if you're visiting for the first time. It's a great aspect of the trip, but for right now, yeah, it's definitely seen a lot of price increases. Oh, and the other thing too that I forgot, you might notice if you looked at menus from the beginning, they used to have a drink in there, it was called Bespin Fizz, and it was like kind of this drink that when you would drink from it, they would like constantly have bubbles bubbling up. There was like dry ice or something at the bottom of it. They've completely removed it off the menu, and we don't know if that has to do with the fact that somebody may have gotten hurt on the dry ice, maybe the cup broke and like dry ice hurt them, but regardless of whatever happened, it's no longer on the menu, which is a total bummer because it was one of the best drinks on the menu. So we'll have to see if that comes back. But it's been completely removed. I took a picture of it, so. Oh, another thing worth mentioning about Oga's Cantina, keep forgetting. It also added a new food item and now has, in addition to all of the stuff it currently offers, which really isn't much, just so you know, Oga's Cantina doesn't actually have food that is offered inside of it. It's mostly snacks. They have a snack mix, and they also have this Jello treat called Oga's Obsession. Those are basically the two snacks, but now they've added something that is very, very kind of bar friendly, especially in California. It's kind of like a meat and cheese board. So you get meat, crackers, just different varieties of cheeses. It all looks very exotic, but that's a new addition to Oga's Cantina that you can now get. Let's keep walking. There she is, folks, the Millennium Falcon. Obviously, this is the centerpiece of the one attraction that is currently open here, Smuggler's Run. Since we're over in this area, let's talk about that really quick. When this ride opened, it was actually rumored that it would have 3 different missions on it, but currently it's only been running 1 since it opened at both parks, here and at Walt Disney World. So everyone's kind of curious when that's officially going to happen, when they'll launch those other 2, or if that was just a myth in general. It's definitely not a myth. There were, in fact, 3 total missions for this ride. So where we're getting at here is probably it has something to do with stuff that's in Rise of Skywalker, and they're waiting to release it to either one, boost park attendance once we reach kind of that point as the holiday season approaches, we'll probably have that. But then post Rise of Skywalker launch, I'm sure there's something that maybe could be considered spoiler territory. But at some point in the near future, this ride will have all 3 missions and it will add a lot of variety, which is something that's sorely missing right now because it's a great attraction, but once you've ridden it a few times, it starts to get a little dull, and that's not something you should be saying about Galaxy's Edge at all. Also worth mentioning, the thermal detonator Cokes. As you can see, on opening day, those thermal detonator Cokes were only $5.50, but now they're up to $6, which again, a ridiculous amount of money for just a small Coke. Because you can get the fountain drinks here at Disney, and they're much, much cheaper. And I know it's a cool souvenir, but I just think it's insane that they're charging $6 for that now. $5.50 was a lot to begin with, but I don't know, what are these stormtroopers doing up here? I don't know if I've ever seen them up on the roof before.
They're both up there.
Is anyone else? I'm sure you guys in the comments have seen a bunch of videos. Have you ever seen them up on the roof? All right, as we head around the corner here, we're gonna come up on Droid Depot. Droid Depot doesn't have any significant changes recently, but if you have been here in the first couple months of operation, you might have noticed that a lot of things sold out quick. But now a lot of those things that were sold out are back in stock, like the Droid backpack. This is used to hold any of the droids that you get there. It's for $49.99. It's also the same price it was when it originally opened, but that's good to see that this is returned. And the other big thing that's returned is the personality trips for the droids. All of these are now back in stock after they were gone for a long time. They came back, then they disappeared, they came back, then they disappeared. But the one thing that is now officially back is you've got the testers back, where you can push them and hear the different sounds that each personality chip makes. That was a weird one. Because before they were just selling these, you didn't actually know what they sounded like. They had this stuff on opening week, but then it disappeared real quick once these sold out, which kind of makes sense. You can't have this out if it sold out, but they didn't bring it back for a long time after these came back in stock. So good to know that you can press whatever you want to and hear what the chips sound like now. Also, if you're asking yourself, what are personality chips? They are basically little adapters that you can put inside of your droid, and it kind of changes the sounds and the beeps that they make. Adjusting their personality like it's named. But they're $14.99 a piece, and you just go and you can do multiple ones too and just sort of swap them out. But it is a cool little addition for your droid, and now that they're back in stock and don't seem to be selling out anytime soon, it's just good to know when you create your droid, which again is $100, that you can add those accessories now without worry. One other thing you might notice is Savi's Workshop, where you go to build a lightsaber. You can also do reservations here now, which is a big deal. So if you go to the website, you can do a reservation in advance. Again, it is a limited line. We were here on opening day, and we were stuck waiting in this massive line, starting here, went all the way around there, came back around there before we could actually register and get in. And I mean, it just took like a full hour of our experience. And now they've eliminated that completely by creating these reservation systems. It is just a great idea by Disney, so I'm glad they did that. Anyway, Savi's and droids are pretty much the same, and Savi's lightsabers has stayed at its $199 base price for the lightsaber experience. So, all right, let's go into Doc Ondor's. Now, as you can imagine, this is probably the biggest changes in the entire area because price changes have been rampant since this land opened. Also, another hot topic is you might notice that kyber crystals are no longer sold on shelves. These crystals used to be right in this little spot here, but they've since moved because people, well, I mean, you guys know the flashlight trick, we did it. But besides that, people could also, you could at some point put your crystal up to this and you'd be able to see on the inside as well. So what that meant was basically all of this got moved behind the counter. But that's not the only thing with kyber crystals. They were one of the cheapest items when you originally came into Galaxy's Edge. You could buy them for $12.99 on opening day. However, now they sell them for $14.99. So those prices went up as well. But yeah, that's the other thing to remember is that if you're here, you can't just get kyber crystals off the shelf anymore. You have to buy them from behind the counter. As you know, if you haven't watched our black kyber crystal video, I'll post a link above. But yeah, they've changed how they do all the policies. There's a lot of things that have changed prices in here, but the only other thing we should probably talk about is the legacy lightsabers. All these cool lightsabers that you see inside the counter here, those have also increased in price since opening day. Most of them in the range of $10, but some as much as $20 have increased. You can see Obi-Wan's saber right here sells for $129.99. On opening day, that was actually only $109.99. So, anyway, look at these. These are so cool. I want one of these so bad. The good news, I suppose, is it looks like they have all of the lightsabers in stock. So, before, when it was like you couldn't get any, now it looks like all of them are back in stock. All that aside, there are a million price changes here at Doc Ondor's, and we don't have time to get into all of them, do we, Doc? What a greedy, greedy guy. So Docking Bay 7 actually had some changes as well. They added a new kids item called the Garden Patty Bun. Although, as I'm sure many of you heard, Docking Bay 7 in Orlando came under scrutiny because they changed the names of the menu items to things that aren't very Star Wars related, which kind of took out of the immersion of it. People got really upset. They've since changed them back, but that never happened at Disneyland. These always stayed the same. So, anyway, we'll keep moving on. I want to get something at Ronto Roasters that is also new that looks very good. So Ronto's Roasters, which is the place of the world famous, universe famous, galaxy famous Ronto wrap, which is my favorite menu item here at Disneyland Resort, now has a vegetarian variety. Now I'm not vegetarian, but it sounds very good. So we're going to go ahead and get that. Oh, they also added another new food item, which is like pork rinds covered in cinnamon. So it's good to see more food items getting added to Galaxy's Edge. Here it is, the garden wrap. Actually looks pretty good. I'm worried those things are gonna fall out the end. I don't know what they are in there. I suppose I can reference this later. But yeah, it looks good. So no meat in it. It does look like a sausage. It's got some sort of sauce on it. Oh, the sauce is really good. I've also got my Tatooine Sunsets ready for a good lunch here. It's so good. Guys, Ronto Roasters can do no wrong. So these like things on it, the greens, they're cucumbers. It's just so refreshing. And like, I don't know. It just doesn't like, I know like a lot of meatless things now are starting to be like, oh, it's basically, it tastes just like meat. Like, this does taste just like meat. I would not know that this was a vegetarian dish, and it is incredible. So, very much a fan of the Ronto-less roaster. So come check it out. Okay, I'm bold statement here, but that Ronto-less wrap was better than even the Ronto wrap. And I love the Ronto wrap. That's my new favorite thing at Disneyland Resort, to eat. That's fast service, not like Carthay Circle or something. That's really good. So you walk into the marketplace and you talk about it. Mostly it's price changes in here. There's not a lot of items that have been added, except for one thing we'll get to at the end. It's been a lot of price increases and a lot of minor things. We can start actually over in the creature shop. One of the most popular items when it first opened was actually the Loft Cat. This is actually a Loft Cat in animatronic form. You can see they're actually over here. And these like sold out right away initially with Galaxy's Edge. But now they're back. The only thing about it though is I believe they are $49.99, which on opening day they were actually only $44.99. So it's an increase of about $5. Over by the Toydarian Toy Maker, you can see all the plushes. It's Rey plush. So they have them all back in stock, which is nice. The only downside is that I believe a lot of these were $19.99 when they were first came out. And now they're, well, this guy's $19.99, but everybody else, Yoda's $22.99, $22.99 for Rey. Ahsoka is also $22.99. This Porg is adorable. This is the most adorable Porg I've ever seen in my entire life. $19.99 for this Porg, though. You make the call. Anyway, I want to get this so bad, but Michelle will kill me. And here's that wooden Stormtrooper doll that was featured in Rogue One when Jin was a kid. That has gone up a large amount of money. Currently it is $39.99, and on opening day that was $24.99. So that's a large increase for that. I wonder why it's so large. I don't know if it's because it doesn't sell enough or if it sells too many, but I've never seen them sell out. So anyway, interesting. Moving on to a different section now of the marketplace. You've got the popcorn stand where you can get Outpost popcorn mix, or they've now added a new one, chocolate popcorn, which looks like it's still the same price, so $6.49 for the popcorn. What's really interesting about this is on like the maybe second or third week that it was open, Michelle and I came here, and this line was like back in Toronto Roasters. And now a big thing is nobody ever comes over here. Like, I wonder how much longer this will be a thing at Galaxy's Edge, because the space could be utilized for something that's much more popular. They could probably just sell this at Ronto's Roasters. Should we get the chocolate popcorn? Let's get the chocolate popcorn. All right, I got the chocolate popcorn. So this is chocolate popcorn with red salt on it, which is supposed to be like salt from Crate, which is the salt planet from The Last Jedi. Anyway, let's try it. It tastes like Cocoa Krispies. It's good. The issue with it is like nothing there is astonishingly good. I don't expect the popcorn stand to stay in the marketplace for much longer beyond the next year.
Why does that pirate Onaka want the Millennium Falcon? Here we go. Uh-oh. We're sorry, sir.
All right, now we're back at the Resistance base. Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
so I was going to ask about the gift cards, which are obviously back in stock.
Yes.
Could you explain? I've never been explained how they actually work and like why they were such a hot commodity item.
Oh yeah, it's just I guess on your planet, I think gift cards are more out of like this plastic material, whereas over here, our Spiras, I'll let you take a feel of it, but the material's a lot more heavier than the plastic that you use.
Oh, so yeah, it's like a heavy metal. Oh, all right. It's got a barcode on it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So to reactivate it, the cool thing is you can use it anywhere at the Disneyland resorts, not only here, California Adventure, if you go to Florida, Paris, anywhere like that, it's usable. But if you are going to add more money into it, remind the cashiers and other planets that they have to scan this barcode in order to add more, because they're not familiar with our currency.
Sure.
So yeah, that's the only thing.
That makes sense. Cool. So and then it costs $100.
Yeah, the minimum to put in.
Oh, okay. To get it, but then it's essentially reloadable forever. So you've got like it's like a permanent gift card from Batuu. Look at that. Very cool. Well, thank you very much. I always wondered about it. I've never seen it before. They've always been sold out. Look at that. Look at that X-Wing. As a kid, this is all I wanted in life. A lot of people want to see the Millennium Falcon, but like, if I could fly any ship in the world, it'd be this. 100%. Who's out there with me? Weigh in the comments. I think the big thing to highlight that's coming soon, coming here in January and December 5th in Walt Disney World, is Rise of the Resistance. It's the last piece of the puzzle for Galaxy's Edge. It's really the missing piece of the puzzle, because right now this whole side sort of feels empty. But once that thing is added, once this whole queue opens up and people are walking through and feeling like it's a go, that's going to be a game changer for this whole area, because this is going to be one of the most immersive rides that Disney has ever constructed. In January, when this opens, expect us to be here, because we're going to be very excited, because this thing is like a 3-part attraction. You're going to have a pre-show that goes through a line in the queue that features Rey and Finn and Poe, and then you'll get onto a ship, captured by the First Order, have to escape a First Order Star Destroyer in a different ride vehicle, and then crash back down to Earth in an escape pod. So, talk about a ride, right? Anyway, January, it's coming. Well, that'll do it. Those are the big changes at Galaxy's Edge. Things that have been added, things that have been taken away. And please weigh in on the comments of what you think about it. Like, you know, are you excited about some of the new food items that have been added? Are you bummed that the Bespin Fizz has disappeared from the menus at the Cantina? Are the prices getting outrageous? Or are you still okay with them? So we'd love to hear what you think. And I guess thanks for coming on this exploration with us today. If you had a good time, please like the video, share it, ring the notification bell to stay subscribed to Happy Place Explorers whenever we go on one of these adventures. And until next time, we'll see you in the Happy Place.